everyone, it's Finn here from the SDGC talking with Kenny, Kaya, and Phil. Kenny from Rain Games and Kaya and Phil from the Girl Genius series, because they're turning that graphic novel into a game, and that's why we're here. So I'm going to first talk to the two of you because it's not often that the creators of a property show up to the PAXs. So
Really?
if you can, please give the audience just like the quick elevator pitch of what Girl Genius actually is all about and what you both do for the series.
So Girl Genius is a story of adventure, romance, and mad science. It's the story of Agatha Heterodyne, a young mad scientist who is thrown out of Transylvania Polygnostic University, and the rest of the series is her showing them all.
And you're the writer, correct?
So Phil and I write it together. We work on it together. We come up with the ideas, and then Phil will sit down with a piece of typing paper, and Phil is the artist. He draws all the pages.
Once I draw it, and I do it old school, pencil on paper, and we've been doing this for like 20 some odd years now.
It's been running for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But he will do a storyboard.
Yeah. And once we talk out whether the page is good, then I'll do a final on the page. Then Kaya scans it. A copy goes to her to do the lettering and final writing tweak. And a copy goes to our colorist, who is Cheyenne Wright, who also does a lot of work in the game industry.
He does.
Yeah.
He does a lot of tabletop work. He does a lot of Savage Worlds stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then so I will send a copy to Cheyenne for coloring. While he's doing that, I have it in Illustrator, and I am doing all of the lettering in Illustrator, and usually completely rewriting everything. And
So it's a 2+1 show.
Yeah.
and then once Cheyenne gets me the colors, I will.
Hey, the enthusiasm.
I know, it's wonderful.
We're all here for Girl Genius. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't see them, but they're there.
The energy here is incredible, and this is our first PAX. Even though it happens in our backyard, we've never been here before because we've never had a video game to promote before.
So, what are you contributing to, like, the story and the plot of the game? So, for those that don't know, like myself, because I just found out as I walked up here that this even exists, which is awesome. Is this a original story? Is it an adaptation of one of the stories, or what's the game about?
Oh, it's an adaptation. I know, I'm sorry, you keep opening your mouth and then I talk. It's very funny.
Phil, I direct the question to you.
Why, thank you. It is an adaptation of the Castle Heterodyne storyline, which is where basically Agatha goes back to the quaint little murder town that spawned the family and has to take back control of the castle, which is a giant malevolent AI construction. And
Spoilers.
I should explain that that Agatha's ancestors are all the absolute worst possible mad scientists that have been terrorizing Europa for hundreds of years, and this is basically. She has gone back to Mordor after Grandpa Sauron has been killed, and is having to kind of tidy everything up and get the orcs back in order. And
that's awesome.
so it hasn't historically been a very nice town, but these days they sell a lot of souvenirs to the tourists.
Yeah.
So that's
there's
the
a little, low-level chicanery and cheating the tourists, and that seems to satisfy
They're
them.
not very nice people, but the story for the game has been tightened up and changed enough that it works very well as a game, which I think is amazing, and all of the choices they made are fantastic.
Yeah.
So good on you.
Yeah. We are well aware that a story that works perfectly in one medium, such as we produce, has to be changed somewhat because of the dictates of the different medium. I mean, if there was a Girl Genius TV series, just saying.
Steampunk's big. I mean, come on.
We would expect certain elements to be changed or tweaked because of the dictates of the medium.
Yeah, so I love it. I just beat the game last week. Finally beat it last week.
It's the perfect segue.
It was fantastic.
So it's the perfect segue to you because the game, you said, comes out in 3 days?
Oh, yes. And we've been working on it for 3 years. So it's all coming together now. It's coming out on Steam and GOG for PC, Mac, and Linux 3 days from now.
And Switch in the winter, you said.
And Nintendo Switch in the winter, and then possibly a PlayStation port coming up a little bit later.
So, how did you get involved with this? Did you approach them, we want to make a game? Did they approach you, said, make us a game?
So the story is that our CEO from the company Rain Games, he met Phil and Kaya over at San Diego Comic-Con, and they got into a little bit of a, hey, we like your stuff, and we like your stuff, and we both do steampunk stuff, basically. And
We did a very well-regarded game called Tesla Grad.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good times. So you're already all big on steampunk.
yeah, it's sort of like in our nature at the studio, it's sort of like the style of things. So we thought that it would be a great combination, and we were also really interested in doing a game with an outside IP to try that for the studio, because it's actually the first project for the studio with an outside IP.
What genre is the game? What type of game is it?
So the game is an action-adventure game, and we like to compare it to classic titles such as Ratchet and Clank, possibly Jak and Daxter, and then the 3D Zelda titles, the old school ones. So that's the sort of gameplay vibe here that we're going for.
Yeah. So where can people follow you and like the studio and the game development, and where can they follow you or like find Girl Genius the series?
So for the game and for our studio, you can follow Rain Games on Twitter. We have a community Discord that is public that everyone can join. So please follow us there for news and updates on our game.
All right. And for Girl Genius, you can go to girlgeniusonline.com. We are also on most of the usual social medias, and we're pretty easy to find, but starting at girlgeniusonline.com is really a good idea.
We have produced Girl Genius novels and graphic novels, and those can all be found at the usual suspects, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and all of the good comic book stores.
That's right.
Bookstores.
So I have one last question for the three of you. It's the most important one. It's hard-hitting journalism at its finest. In your heart of hearts,
color is yellow.
in your heart of hearts, cake or pie?
Ooh, pie.
Cake, what's wrong with you?
And yet we are still married.
Yeah, I mean, it's finding the love and the differences. Tiebreaker.
Well, I'll safe it. I'll go for the cake. You know, I'm a bit of a chocolate cake guy.
Oh man, look at that. The correct answer was pie.
Oh, is it? Oh, fantastic.
There's no correct answer.
What's a pretty good number anyway?
But I'm pie. I'm team pie, so I like the pie answers
What's
better.
the number of
Like how many people have chosen cake?
No, like pi is 3.14, but
Oh,
what is cake?
negative
Been
something.
assigned a number and
No.
Why not?
I don't know. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I appreciate you guys. I love that I can play this in a couple days. That's fun. It's always fun to discover a game and then be like, surprise, you can play it soon. You don't have to wait 3 years. So thank you all very much. I hope you have a great rest of PAX.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming. Have
Thank
fun
you.
at PAX.
I hope you manage to find other games almost as good as ours.
I'll do my best.